Steve Kerr's trust in Buddy Hield pays off. We're going to question Steve Kerr for decisions here and lineup construction there and who he's playing in this moment and who he's not playing in that moment. Buddy Hield made Steve Kerr look like a freaking genius today, and all I got to say is we got to give him credit. What a performance for Buddy freaking Hield. Where were you for the Buddy Hield game? Where were you? Warriors win Game 7 in Houston, 103-89, and they are on to the second round. They came close to blowing a 3-1 lead, but they held on thanks to Buddy freaking Hield. This game will forever be remembered as the Buddy Hield game. He scores 33 points. That's a playoff career high. He goes 12 for 15 from the field, 9 of 11 from downtown. And just right off the jump, I got to give out some of the statistics, some of the records, some of the numbers about this Buddy Hield game. First of all, he had 22 points in the first half alone. That by itself was already a playoff career high. How about this? The only players to score 22 or more points in the first half of a Game 7 in the play-by-play era of the NBA. LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, Paolo Banchero, Draymond Green. Yes, you remember Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals. And joining that list today, Buddy freaking Hield. How about this? Hield's first half threes, 6 of them are a Game 7 record. And how about this? Buddy Hield made 9 threes tonight, tied for the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Buddy freaking Hield. So again, I'll ask you, where the hell were you for the Buddy Hield game? Wow, what a win this was for the Warriors. They essentially led wire to wire. Not that it wasn't nerve-wracking at times. Houston got back within 3 at the tail end of the third quarter. Then the Warriors, they put the gas pedal down. That's when Steph Curry really got going. I mean, the Warriors at halftime led by 12 when Steph Curry had 3 points. That is ridiculous. And you can thank Buddy Hield for that because he had 22 of his 33 in the first half. He was 6 for 7 from downtown in the first half, 8 for 9 from the field in the first half. But if you would have told me in the first half, Steph Curry would have 3 points and some of the other numbers, I mean, Jimmy Butler had 8 points. If you would have told me that Steph and Jimmy combined for 11 points in the first half, I would have told you the Warriors would be down by 20 and it would essentially all be over. But it was not, because Buddy freaking Hield scored 22 points in the first half, and he led the Warriors to a 12-point lead at the halftime break. And they added on early in the third quarter. They got up by 15 at one point. And then the Houston Rockets put together a run going into the third quarter. The Warriors led by 15 early in the third, then an 8-2 Houston burst. They got back within 7. And then Houston got within 5 later on, and eventually they got back within 3 after a Jabari Smith Jr. three-pointer with 2:43 to go in the third. It cut the Warriors' lead, which was once 15-3 at 63-60. Circle that moment because that's when everything changed. That was a 21-9 Houston run over a little less than 8.5 minutes of the third quarter. Houston back within 3. The crowd is finally in it. They really hadn't been in it for the majority of the basketball game. And then the Warriors absolutely dominate. Over the next 12 minutes and 12 seconds of basketball, spanning the final couple of the third and the first 10 of the fourth, the Warriors outscored Houston 31-14. To build a 20-point lead. From up 3 and a Houston run to up 20 for the Warriors in about a quarter of basketball. And it began with a Jimmy Butler tough late shot clock contested corner 3 to put the Warriors back up 6. And then it was Steph Curry who, after only 3 points in the first half, erupted for 19 in the second half, 14 of which came in the fourth quarter. He hit a big step back 3. You could kind of tell he was thinking about hitting the night towards the end of the fourth. Right after that, Buddy Hield hit the dagger to put the Warriors up by 20. There was also a lot of Jimmy Butler scoring during that stretch. Steph went on a 5-0 run to begin the fourth, put the Warriors lead up to 13. Then he kind of handed the baton off to Jimmy Butler, who scored 6 in a row himself, put the Warriors up by 14 at one point, and then those consecutive threes, Warriors lead by 20. It's ball game over. They win game 7. And how about this for a little bit of history? I don't know if I'd go as far as saying I feel bad for the Houston Rockets or feel bad for their fans, because this has been over the course of the Steph Curry, really over the Steve Kerr era specifically, this has been the team that has given the Warriors like the most consistent problems. I know more so this organization, not this iteration of the Rockets. The Warriors under Steve Kerr have played the Rockets 5 times now in the postseason. The Warriors have won every single one of their series. And to add insult to injury, as we don't mind doing to the Houston Rockets, the last 3 Warriors-Rockets series have ended on that same court in Houston. The Warriors' last 3 series wins, series-clinching games versus the Rockets, came in Houston. Game 7 in 2018, Game 6 in 2019, and Game 7 in 2025. And oh, by the way, that Game 6 in 2019, kind of similar to the way this one played out. If you recall, 2019 Warriors without Kevin Durant at that point. He returned for the finals, then re-injured himself, of course, as we know, tore his Achilles later on in that series. But he was not available in that series versus the Rockets, at least at that tail end there in Game 6. Steph went scoreless in the first half of that game, Game 6, 2019, and then he exploded for 33 points in the second half and willed the Warriors to a victory. He didn't go scoreless in the first half today, but he scored only 3 points, and his first bucket came on a 3 in the final minute of the second quarter. He ultimately scores 22, 19 in the second half, 14 in the fourth quarter, and the Warriors win. It wasn't quite the same epic second half from Steph specifically, but he didn't need to do it. He did not need to do it offensively. He was great elsewhere. I mean, he finishes with 22 points, and he played 46 minutes, by the way, but 22 points for Steph. He led the team with 10 rebounds. He tied with Jimmy for the team lead in assists with 7. He had the most steals with 2. He tied for the team lead in blocks with 2. Steph did everything in this game other than score in the first half. But you got enough from Jimmy Butler, who scored 20. Draymond Green was in double figures for the first time this series with 16. And, of course, again, it's the Buddy Hield game with 33 points, 9 of 11 from downtown, tied for the most made threes in a Game 7 in NBA history. That belongs to Dante DiVincenzo and Buddy Hield. By the way, second most made threes in a single Game 7 in NBA history. 7. Steph Curry's done that 3 different times. He made only 4 today. Only 4. That's great for anybody's standards other than Steph. But it was Buddy Hield. 9 of 11 from deep, 12 of 15 from the field, and the Warriors, they ride his 33 points to a victory. Again, 103-89 versus the Warriors. Or versus the Rockets for the Warriors. I mean, I don't know how you felt. If you guys were listening to me on Warriors Live previewing this game, I didn't think Buddy Hield was even going to score in this, or it was even going to start in this game today. He had been starting of late and to good effect in Game 3 and 4, but to pretty disastrous effect in Game 5 and 6. In fact, he did not even score in Game 6. I was expecting Moses Moody, who had at least comparatively solid Game 5, really good Game 5, although most of it was in garbage time. In a solid Game 6, I was expecting a Moses Moody start over Buddy Hield. Steve Kerr says, no, I'm sticking with my veteran Buddy Hield, who's had a roller coaster year, and Steve Kerr's trust in Buddy Hield pays off. Buddy Hield made Steve Kerr look like a freaking genius today, and all I got to say is, if we're going to question Steve Kerr for decisions here and lineup construction there and who he's playing in this moment and who he's not playing in that moment, when he makes a decision like this, which I think most Warrior fans were not expecting and would not have done themselves, and then that said player nearly single-handedly wins you the basketball game, we got to give him credit. So, Steve Kerr, you deserve a ton of credit for the way this game played out. You trusted Buddy, and he came through with 33 points. What a performance for Buddy freaking Hield.